glasses, man. Look, my wife had a Harry Potter this shit.
You got some duct tape. You got some tape on there.
She put some tape on there, man, and it works. But bro, I'm always fucking with my glasses, and so every now and then the lens will pop out.
We're live, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the cameo. Before I do that, Zach Ryder and not Chad Gable. I already screwed it up. See, this is why I don't talk. Zach Ryder and LA Knight are the same person. Here's a little person.
Hey guys, how are you? Former WWE Superstar Hornswoggle here, and I'm here to tell you to check out. See, this is why WWE didn't let me talk. I'm not very good at it. But I'm here to tell you to check out the Unpadded podcast. They talk wrestling past, present, review craft beers and whiskeys. But before you do that, you let me pause for the cause for a second. Go over and check out the Going Postal podcast. It's my podcast. It's pretty decent, if I must say so myself. So yes, while talking about the Unpadded podcast, which talks about craft beers and wrestling and whiskey and more wrestling, you all should check out Going Postal. That's my show.
Yo, where the hell'd you go?
I'm back. Sorry. I thought it was going to last longer.
I know. I did too. I as soon as he left, I see my peripheral. He goes off. I turn. You're gone.
Welcome to the shit show.
This is the Brew Show, man. This is the Brew Show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. It is episode 2. How you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, man. A lot of shit to talk about. A lot of interesting things going on, man. I'm ready to dive into it. How about you? How you doing?
You know what? It's been a rough day, but we're here now, and I've woken up, and Tuesdays are my new favorite day now. They really, honestly are. As much as I love Fridays and payday and the weekend, I look forward to Tuesday, and it sucks in a way that when I'm at work all day Tuesday, I can't focus. Like, I get nothing done on Tuesdays. Nothing. I'm just going to tell my boss, look, you're going to have to give me Tuesdays off. I'll work every Saturday. I don't care. But,
dude, yeah, I get nothing done on Wednesdays. I play video games all fucking day.
So, Tuesdays are my new favorite day, and I'm excited. Second week in a row, I have a new favorite beer.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite this week?
My favorite this week comes from us at Three Nations in Carrollton, Texas. It's called Sucker Punch Watermelon Weisse. Berlin Weisse. Yeah. Dude, it is really good. Again, I'll post it. The can's green. I have a green screen. It sucks. I'm sorry. I'll post a picture and I'll put it on Facebook and Instagram. I'll put it everywhere, but I absolutely love this beer. It's fruity. It's smooth. You know, I'm starting to understand that the Weisses are like, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Weiss, whatever it is.
I think it's a Weiss.
Sorry, my Blue's in the background. He's talking because people are over. But you know, it's a very smooth beer. Like, there's no bitterness. It's not overly bearing sweet. It's nice and smooth, and I can knock these back all day long. And this one's here only a 4.5 alcohol by volume, 5 IBUs.
Dude, you're gonna love me, man. So last month, went to go visit family friends out in Tennessee, and my job was to build a collection of local craft beer for them to experience. You know, stuff that they can't get out there, right?
Right.
I went to Total Wine and I picked up this. It is the Sucker Punch, but it's the blueberry variation of it.
Nice.
That's not coming in too good, is it?
It's a little blurry, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's the blueberry Berliner Weiss.
If you'll send me that picture, take a picture, send me that picture, whatever. I'll post it on the because you're doing, if I remember correct, you're doing Twitter, right? And I'm doing Instagram and
I haven't been doing Twitter because you've been posting, you've been taking care of that. I've just been uploading videos onto YouTube.
Okay.
But I mean, if you want me to take care of Twitter, man, I will.
Okay, yeah, if you don't mind, if you'll do Twitter and YouTube, and then I'll do TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
Cool.
Nazi book, whatever you want to call it. We won't get into that. Anyways, okay, so I want to get away from the beer for a minute. This is also a wrestling podcast, as we all know.
And eventually, hopefully, MMA or boxing. Just a little.
I will, for you, I will look into MMA.
It'll be like a 5-minute segment, brews only, bruising for a brew. There you go. That was the name of my the other little podcast thing.
Dana White and Joe Rogan. I'm a huge fan of both of them. I'm like uber fan. So I think we can put 5-10 minutes of the show for those two, for their brand.
Nice.
But I just saw Chad Gable pop up, and obviously we're going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw last night. A lot to get into, a lot to take in, a lot to digest. Some good, some bad. I want to talk LA Knight. We're going to have a whole show about LA Knight because I have a bone to pick with the writers. Excuse me, and I've already got the beer burps. First things first, Chad Gable deserves a push. I don't care if it's Intercontinental Championship. I don't care if it's the U.S. title. He deserves his own push.
I think that's what they're kind of doing for payback.
I hope so. The guy is underrated, and I'm going to say this, and if somebody watches this and they disagree with me, fine. That's fine. Wrestling is subjective. It's like art. Chad Gable's the next Kurt Angle. I said what I said.
Next.
And here's why I say that. Here's why I say that.
Yeah.
If you listen, again, you already know who I'm going to bring up. If you listen to Bubba Ray Dudley on Busted Open, I'll give them a shout out. Hopefully one day they'll get in touch with me. There are a very few elite guys in this business, in this industry, over the past decade or two that have what he calls a sixth gear. Guys that can go a 20, a 30, a 40-minute match and then just kick it into hyperdrive.
Right.
Kurt Angle is that guy. Now, Chad Gable hasn't really had a chance to shine, but he's slowly getting that. And last night, I think he kind of showed that he can get that sixth gear if given the opportunity.
He was given the opportunities in the past. It just didn't come off that well. He wasn't as embraced. It wasn't until he got into the whole Alpha Academy and doing his thing with Otis that everyone's like, okay, these guys are kind of funny. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they were first heel. And then something happened and they changed and everyone started loving them. So they switch. It's similar to New Day.
They got over. That's what happened. The crowd finally accepted them. They got over, whether it was comic relief, whether it was funny, whether it was that they clicked. They had that moment right with the crowd and they got over with the crowd. And that's Chad Gable even kind of said it. I saw something on Facebook Shorts today. He was at a really low point in his career. Couldn't really find out where he was fitting in. Otis was at a really low point, and they both are actually friends outside of wrestling. They're actually like best friends.
Oh, really?
They travel together all the time. So, Chad Gable came up with this whole Alpha Academy thing, wrote down from start to finish what he wanted to see happen with it, took it to creative, and they were like, it's yours, run with it. And that's what he did, him and Otis. And I'm going to say something else. Otis is amazing. I don't care what anybody says.
Otis is kind of cool. I like him.
I am a uber Otis fan. I don't care. Even if they turn heel, I will still support Alpha Academy.
We'll see. I mean, the same thing with New Day. From my understanding, Big E wasn't that big as far as a solo competitor. Neither was Xavier Woods. And Kofi Kingston had that fake-ass Jamaican thing going on. It wasn't until they all paired in New Day. they were doing feuds with Usos. They were doing feuds with like not Street Profits, but who was it around that time? They were doing little
True
things.
Crime or something like that. Crime Truth
I think so. I mean, hell, they were even doing things against Shield at some point.
Right.
But it wasn't until they started making fun of themselves, similar to what Street Profit or not, similar to what Alpha Academy is doing. The whole bootios, throwing waffles and pancakes and shit at the crowd, coming out with unicorn horns on their head. You know what I mean? Big E like gyrating on the ropes. Dude, they got over, and now it doesn't matter if they are in a 3-man tag, a duo tag, or solos. Either one of them, because of everything that they went through in their solo campaigns and what they brought to the table for the New Day in all of its iterations, now they have that push. Now you see what Kofi Kingston is doing. You see what Xavier and Big E is doing, or excuse me, King Xavier, right? He was the King of the Ring winner, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
So I think the same thing is going on with Chad Gable. It's extremely fortunate for him that they were at that low spot, because I remember before they even formed Alpha Academy, they were decent, but I wasn't really tuning in for them. And then now they started off as heels and something switched. It was like they finally got their comeuppance and everyone loved him. And now look, you got Otis winning what that battle royal kind of thing. What was it during SummerSlam?
Right.
You got Chad Gable getting an IC title shot. Whether he was supposed to win or not, who knows? But I think that sets it up. I mean, hell, they already announced that he has a big match against Gunther's henchman next week.
Yep.
So I think it's all setting it up to give him a really good push.
Yeah, and look, I
because I look at him more as a stable and not a traditional tag team.
I appreciate what Gunther is doing. I do, and I don't.
Oh, he's phenomenal, man.
And see, that's I can't get into Gunther. I have tried. I want to like him. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got the mic skills. He's got everything, but I just can't do it.
Really?
I can't get into Imperium. I can't get into Gunther. I have no desire to. I'm just like, okay, he's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't mind watching him, get beat up in a match. I
saw him a few times without Imperium. So did he debut without them or no?
That I don't know.
I want to say I saw him come to the ring several times without the two goons.
Maybe he might have.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. It's nothing against him. It's not that I don't like him. It's not that I can't get into him. He doesn't jive with me. But Chad Gable's amazing. Otis is amazing. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I kind of want Otis to have his own push because look, there's not a whole lot of guys his size that can move like Otis can.
Oh, absolutely.
You say what you want. I mean, I know he's a big guy and he's obese. He's this, he's that, but the guy's athletic and it shows.
Yeah, I would love to see something between him and Kevin Owens.
Oh, dude.
That would be phenomenal, man.
Cassie, let the doggies out. There are 3 T-shirts. I'm not a big wrestling T-shirt guy. Never have been, but there are 3 shirts that I want. I want Austin 316.
Okay.
I want NWO.
Okay.
And I want Kevin Owens.
That'd be nice. T-shirt or like the tank top?
Sorry, dogs got out and it was all chaos.
Don't you just love when shit goes south on live, man?
Hey, you know what? This is a live show. You don't like it. You know where the door is. Don't let it hit you with a good Lord split you. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But
so the KO
saying,
shirt, would you want a regular shirt or like the sleeveless tank top?
Oh, sleeveless tank top, baby.
Show the guns.
Show the guns or lack of,
Dude, I'm building them up. I'm trying. I pissed off the missus earlier by saying that I want to get rid of my toothpick arms. She's like, they're not toothpick. Quit saying that.
I just want to. I said this a while back, and a while back. Is that even a word? It is now, I guess. I said this a while back. I just want to feel comfortable again without my shirt on, because I used to be one of those guys, man. I never had a shirt on. I walking around everywhere without a shirt. I didn't care. I don't do that no more. I'm like, no, I'm hiding the gut. I don't care. So
I was always like that, and I would say maybe in the last year, I kind of slowly am breaking that that uncomfortability. Is that even a word?
This is the second sucker punch. This is tiger's blood. Now I'll let everybody in.
Tiger's blood.
I'll let everybody in on a little secret about tiger's blood. I picked this beer for one reason. I'm secretly a big fan of Charlie Sheen's. Charlie Sheen is amazing. I love him as an actor. And so I heard tiger's blood. I heard weisse. I was like, I'm in. I'm there. So
tiger's blood, is that blood orange infused? Or not infused, but you know what I'm talking about.
I think so. Yeah, it's red. It's like a orangish reddish color.
Nice. Yeah, there's not that many blood orange type drinks that I can kind of tolerate. That's one of them that it just has to be right.
So, and like I said, guys, as I go on, you'll see me taking pictures. We'll maybe leaving a little video here and there. It's me trying to keep fresh, trying to keep up with the socials. But no, man. So
shit, you just reminded me that, man. I should take a picture of my Ninja Turtle one.
Right.
My bad.
You're good. But we've got tiger's blood. We've got this watermelon Berliner Weiss. Oh, tiger's blood too is also. I'm going to say this right now. I'm rewatching Raw. I can't stand the Viking Raiders. They need to go away. I don't get them. They don't have a story. They're boring. It's just two guys that are playing Vikings on TV, and I don't get it. I'm bored with it.
Yeah, they I'm not a big fan of the Viking Raiders. I'm not a fan. They tried to do that angle before with someone else.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. Man.
I can't think of who though. It's like that's already been done. Give it up. And it was cool, And speaking of something else something similar. It's not the exact same circumstances, but what's her name? Nikki Ash or something. So Google Nikki Ash, and she was one where she was a really talented solo, but she wasn't really getting a push. And then they made her this Irish, like split personality disorder type person. And she would be talking to herself, and it was really weird, man. But she pulled it off perfectly.
I see where she teamed with Rita Ripley.
Yes.
Yeah, she teamed with Rita Ripley. It was like the most. It was like watching Eugene and The Rock team up. It just
there was a match where it was going into It was right before WrestleMania, I believe. WrestleMania, not standing. Okay, Elimination Chamber. No. Yes, Nikki Cross. That's her fucking name. She is phenomenal. It was Elimination Chamber this past year. It was this past February. And it was Asuka. It was Carmella, Liv Morgan, Natalya, Nikki Cross, and Raquel Rodriguez before she got injured. And it was an Elimination Chamber match to determine who got a Raw Women's Championship shot at WrestleMania 39. And she played all sadistic and everything, handcuffed certain people. She climbed up to the very top of the cage and just laugh. Like, she's like a female Joker, man.
Oh, jeez.
Like, when she first started that, it kind of, the Viking Raiders kind of reminded me of that.
Right.
Or what was, hell, the Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and the late, what's his name?
Braun Strowman. Oh, I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about. He was in the Wyatt family. I know exactly what you're talking. Yeah. No,
but they were kind of similar, and they again push. So maybe the Viking Raiders will get that oomph and make something happen. But I don't see it happening. Not anytime soon.
I don't either. I'm over them. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but another one I'm over is Judgment Day. They need to just break them up. It's not working. It's constant controversy. It's so and so's mad. Now they're bringing in this new guy. There's going to be jealousy. Now the rumors are all over social media that someone in Judgment Day is going to leave. They don't know who. Well, Rhea Ripley just got engaged, so my guess is probably her.
No.
That or it's Finn Balor, because now there's rumors that Finn Balor might be retiring.
I would put my money on Finn Balor retiring and him leaving. Damian Priest is finally getting that push, Mr. Money in the Bank. Obviously, Dom is going nowhere, and just the massive reactions that they're getting with Dom and Rhea Ripley, they're not splitting them up.
Right.
I mean, that would be completely stupid. You see them paying homages to Triple H in China all over the place. Shawn Michaels in China during DX.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? So I don't think Rhea's going anywhere. I don't think Dom is going anywhere. It's really going to come down to Damian and Finn Balor. And like you said, Finn Balor has been around for a while now. I'd put my money on him retiring.
Well, he's 40. So
he is around before AJ Styles, wasn't he? Like, he was in the Japan market.
I think they're about the same. Well, AJ Styles spent a lot of time in Japan, and then what was it? Impact?
Yeah, TNA Impact.
Yeah, TNA Impact, yeah. So
Finn Balor was in New Japan Pro Wrestling as of 2006. And so he was already making his name. AJ Styles was WCW in 01. Various promotions, Ring of Honor in 02 to 06. Okay, so maybe AJ Styles was first, but Finn Balor was like right there.
Right. So I'm watching the Chad Gable Gunther match now.
Dude, that was a good one.
It really was. It really was. Hats off to both of them, man. I was impressed. Like I said, and I know we're backtracking a little bit. We already talked about these guys, but I'm a fan of Chad Gable. I'm interested to see what's next for him. I just to me, I'm over the Judgment Day. I feel like they missed the mark with the whole Edge leaving or getting betrayed.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, what could they have done differently? I don't know. I don't have that answer. I don't know what you do because you have two guys, Finn Balor and Edge. I mean, he's Edge, right? And we're going to get to him in a minute. But you have Finn Balor, who's got the demon Finn Balor, and you've got the Finn Balor, the wrestler, which he's phenomenal. He's great. And he kind of has that old school mentality. You know, there's been plenty of times where he's wrestled, or he's wrestled hurt. Golly, what just happened there?
It's a sucker punch, man.
It's a sucker punch. Yeah, it does. No, he wrestled hurt a few times during matches, and he's underrated in my opinion. So I feel like they missed the mark. Where was that mark at? I don't know. They should have had a longer Edge versus Finn Balor thing, maybe bring back the Brood like they teased on social media for, I don't know, a month. Now, Christian couldn't go because he had prior commitments in AEW. I get that. We're also going to get to AEW in a minute because I got a couple of things I want to say about them. But there's, I don't know, man. They missed the mark, and I just feel like Judgment Day's run its course, and they need to just end it. That's what I'm trying to say.
So I don't understand. So if you listen to what people had said as to why Edge left, it was because he didn't agree. There was creative differences that the company wanted to take Judgment Day to this like supernatural level type thing. Think of Undertaker,
like the Ministry of Defense or something like that.
Exactly.
Or Ministry of Darkness, I think is what it was.
Yeah. But if you look at the history of Judgment Day, there was never any supernatural elements. So, one, why did Edge really leave? Was it, I mean, maybe it was the tail end of his career and he wanted to bow out and perform only solos. I don't know.
I changed the idea.
So, but I'm kind of over Judgment Day too. I mean, it's the same thing with them and the Bloodline. I mean, you can only take it so far. You know, so many promos that Judgment Day does, I'll fast forward it. I don't really jump into it too much.
Yeah. There's Judgment Day is done with.
I'll watch the matches, but their promos, I'm not a big fan of.
No, their promos suck. While we're on the subject of promos, switch gears for just a second. Seth Rollins.
Okay.
So I saw his promo last night. I'd heard rumors about Seth having back problems. I didn't know how serious, and I don't know if this was just a really good promo by Seth. This is part of the script, or if he really truly has back problems. I don't know. And that's the great thing about a good promo, right?
Right.
And that kind of keeps you, interested. I think my opinion could be totally wrong on this. I think Seth has had back problems for a while, and they're finally catching up to him. And so I think they're going to probably have him lose to Shinsei Nakamura, or however you say that guy's name. I always get it wrong. Don't care. Don't like the guy. His promos suck. He's a great wrestler, but his promos suck. I said what I said. I feel like they're going to have him drop the title to him at Payback, and then Seth's going to take a leave of absence for a while. But I didn't know he had back problems, dude. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, if he takes a step back, I don't see him dropping the title. I see him beating Shinsuke. I forgot his name. Nakamura, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even like him because I can't say his name right.
So I fully think that he will successfully defend the title. Okay. Take a little step back. And there's already precedent of that happening. Look at Randy Orton. He's still considered a champ. Look at Kevin Owens. he took a small little break to deal with his ribs and everything else, and they worked it in with the Judgment Day angle. He still kept it the title. So there's precedent. I think Seth is going to win. There will be some kind of story written in after Payback, like right after Payback, of him being attacked, whatever the case may be. That'll give him some breathing room to where he still holds his title. I would go as far as to say a Cody Rhodes Shinsuke feud, because if he was to drop the title to anybody, I see it being Cody Rhodes and not Shinsuke.
Yeah, and I read something on Twitter, been about a month, I guess. Cody respects the hell out of Seth, but apparently he doesn't want to work with him. I don't know what that's about, but apparently he respects him. He has no problems with him as a person or anything like that. He's like, I just don't want to work with him. So I don't know if there's a reason behind that or what.
There's nobody else really to take that mantle. Case in point. You know what? Case in point. We were talking in the last show about the writers not knowing what to do with certain talent and wasting things away. Drew McIntyre was one of the examples.
Dude, he left and came back a week later.
Right? You watched last night's show. What the fuck did they do with him? They put him in a tag match with Matt Riddle, and the dude spent the entire match
on the
standing
apron.
there.
Yeah, on
the apron, just standing there. Like, he didn't do anything until after everything was already done and the Viking Raiders came out.
I see
so
that.
What are they doing with him, dude?
That drives me crazy because he'd been released from WWE because his contract ran out. He wasn't going to resign because he wasn't happy. He wasn't getting any type of push. They weren't doing anything with him, and he's like, "I've been the guy forever. Like, y'all said that y'all are going to give me these pushes and these single matches, and none of it's happening." So he left for creative differences. They promise him the world. They bring him back, give him a crap ton of money, and now they're just not doing anything with him. And, Matt Riddle, so here's my thing with Matt Riddle. Real quick, I'll make this brief. Don't have any issues with the guy. He's funny. He's talented. He's athletic. His matches are actually fun to watch. But I just don't see him being a top guy. He's a mid-carder to me. He always will be a mid-carder. And again, nothing against the guy. I don't hate him. I'm being honest here. If we're being honest, he's a mid-card guy. That's all he'll ever be.
And so is Shinsuke. I think that's why I think he's going to lose. He's along the lines of who is... Oh my God, what is his name? He was... All right, I'm going to get it completely wrong, but he was from the Middle East. Huge, muscular motherfucker from the Middle East. And he dethroned Brock Lesnar or Undertaker for the heavyweight title. You know who I'm talking about? He had the beard.
Oh.
You know who I'm talking about now. What the hell was his name?
Middle Eastern wrestler.
I'm looking it up right now. Fuck it. So when did
Jinder Mahal?
Thank you. Oh my God.
Lee.
It's like right there, man.
Yep.
All right. So back to my point. Jinder Mahal. he, in my opinion, was always a mid-card talent. He was good, but he could not carry the weekly shows. He couldn't carry pay-per-views. He wasn't a draw. They thought, even like way before what they did with Roman Reigns, they thought if they gave him a title, it would propel and everyone would be all kumbaya and fucking sing his praise and like him. And it backfired because he dropped the title almost immediately.
Yep.
Shinsuke had that chance. He was champion. Didn't have a big draw that people were hoping for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Seth Rollins, he becomes champion. Everyone loses their fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why I think, Shinsuke, Matt Riddle, they're mid-card people. If they're going to hold any kind of gold, it's probably going to be a tag team.
I don't disagree with that.
You tend to not give mid-card people intercontinental title. That's more or less the United States title. I mean, just look at Austin Theory and what's going on with him.
Oh, another look. Great look.
And nothing, absolutely nothing against Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio holding the title is setting up what John Cena could not do, which is to elevate Austin Theory. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
He dropped his title to Rey Mysterio, who didn't need the title in the first place. He's probably a year or two out anyway.
Right.
But I think Rey getting the title was to further elevate Austin Theory and set up more of a feud between him and that other LWO guy that was supposed to have the shot in the first place. Get them out of that mid-card status.
So I'm not an Austin Theory guy. Great look. Again, great look. Mic skills are okay. Promos suck to me, but that's just me. I can't get into him. But man, I don't know. If I was a writer, I wouldn't know what to do with Austin Theory. John Cena's coming back. I don't know why.
Is he really? I didn't hear that.
Next week. He's coming back next week. He'll be on, I think it's Friday Night SmackDown when they go to what do you call it? Saudi Arabia or something. Or wherever they're going to be, Israel or I don't know, Ireland.
Oh, okay.
I need a dip. That's what I need. But yeah, they
when you dip, I dip, we dip.
Right.
I just showed my age. Fuck it, I don't care.
We need to be on. That needs to be a TikTok right there. I need to clip that. But no, John Cena's coming back, and I'm like, okay, I don't mind that John Cena's coming back, but why? What's the point?
Yeah, they don't have anything going on in Saudi Arabia until November.
He's coming back next week. They've been advertising the hell out of it. They advertised the hell out of it last night too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. I'm actually glad. Right? I don't have anything against John Cena. The guy's great. He's amazing. He carried the company. He was the face of the company for years. It doesn't make sense to me. Why? Why now? Because Edge is retiring? Is that why? So I have three people I want to talk about. Edge, Cody Rhodes, and John Cena. I'm going to start with Edge because he retired last week, unofficially. I watched the match. Did you watch the match at all?
I watched the match.
Okay.
It wasn't as clean as I hoped it would be, but it wasn't a snooze fest either. I mean, it was kind of what you would expect.
I'm glad you used the word clean. I have been racking my brain trying to find a word.
It had a lot of sloppy moments, but it could have been cleaner, but it wasn't bad.
early on here, again, my opinion doesn't mean shit. I don't care. Early on, I feel like they were sloppy, and it was the emotions, it was the adrenaline, it was, this was potentially his last match. We don't know. Edge doesn't know yet, but this was potentially his last match. And it was in front of his home crowd where he started all this journey 25 years ago. There's high emotions running. I didn't fault him for any of that. I was like, okay, well, that kind of was bad, but oh well. I was still enjoying the moment, right? Storytelling, and I didn't mind it. And then as the match went on, they were like, it was like, okay. And I'll tell you what, whoever it was, producers, writers, camera guys, directors, I don't know who did it, but they kept cutting to Beth Phoenix and showing her reaction and her crying and her smiling and everything else. That was exactly what people at home needed to see, because it kind of gets your mind away from the wrestling aspect and more on the human aspect of things.
Yeah.
But
I noticed that too, but I wasn't sure if they were doing that because it was sloppy, for lack of a better word,
Well, yeah, and
early on.
I don't know if they were doing it because of that, but regardless of the reason why, I think they did a good job with it, because you weren't missing too much of the match, and you were still getting to tell the story. And here's my thing with Edge. I'm going to say this right now.
Say it with your chest.
I think Edge is done. I do. And it's not because I don't think he can keep going. It's not because I think he needs to retire. He has nothing left to prove. He's done everything in this business. Royal Rumble winner. He's held multiple titles. He's, arguably one of the best tag team champions ever. And I mean, ever. So, and then people are starting to speculate AEW. Look, there's only one way he goes to AEW. Tony Khan offers him a bunch of FU money because of WWE. He comes to AEW. He walks into AEW, walks around like he owns the place because, let's face it, he's Edge. They write a story how the locker room gets mad at him and attacks him one day. And who comes to save him in AEW? Christian. Thus, Edge and Christian are reunited in AEW. That is the only scenario I see. And it's Tony Khan basically giving a middle finger to Vince McMahon saying, F you, I got Edge. But again, Edge has nothing to prove. Why would he do it? He's rich as hell. He's got a family. His kids are getting older. He wants to raise his kids and be with his family. I don't see why he would need to go to AEW. Am I saying he will or won't? I don't know. He might. I think there's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. If he did, I would put my truck up for sale. I'd bet my truck against the fact that he would probably join Edge at some point. I mean, Tony Khan would be stupid not to do that.
True.
But I'm glad he's retiring. In a sense, I'm happy for Edge. As a sports fan, I'm sad. As a wrestling fan, I'm sad. I think he deserved like one more push, whether it was for the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, Tag Team Championship, World Championship, whatever. I think he deserved one more kind of push, because here's what I would have done. This is called a segue, folks. Learn from it. I think what should have happened is Edge should have faced Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for a championship. Now, how great would that have been?
That would have been cool.
Which brings me to Cody Rhodes. I'm seeing a lot of hate on. I'm a part of a massive amount of wrestling Facebook groups, Instagram groups, what have you. The amount of hate for Cody Rhodes shocks me. As many people love him at live events, the amount of people on the internet that hate Cody Rhodes shocks me. And I don't understand why. It baffles my mind. It really does. It baffles my mind. What is this hate for Cody Rhodes that people have? Please explain it to me, because I don't get it. And I even heard somebody say Cody Rhodes is overrated. He has a limited skill set. Okay, jackass. Well, let me explain something to you. Every wrestler is different. Every wrestler has different talents, strengths, and weaknesses, just like any other human out there.
Yeah.
You're going to see the same exact moves and moveset every week. You know why? Because that's what they do. Sports entertainment. Welcome to the world.
Yeah.
You know, you want to talk about limited skill sets? I can name 3 off the top of my head, and I'm going to piss some people off. You ready for my 3? In this order: Goldberg, John Cena, The Rock.
I thought you would have thrown Brock Lesnar in there, man. Please tell me he's at least your top 5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All he does is the suplexes. That's it.
Yeah, I'll throw a number. He's number 4, number 5. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Limited skill set. Is it his fault?
Yeah.
No, but still, Stone Cold. I'll throw another one in there. Another one of my favorites, and possibly the godfather of wrestling, The Undertaker.
He got limited later in his career. I wouldn't have him on that list.
So I mean, but
he was doing moves that fucking Rey Mysterio was doing, standing on the 3rd rope, doing all these fucking somersault and arm bars and shit off the top rope. Early in his fucking career, dude, he was the only tall, big man to be doing that kind of stuff.
I'm not live Hershey, Pennsylvania, SmackDown next week. John Cena. There you go. Okay. I'm not faulting them for doing. I'm not faulting them for being. I mean, you're going to sit there and tell me that Stone Cold, The Rock, and Goldberg aren't 3 of the biggest names you've ever heard in wrestling?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I probably wouldn't put Undertaker in that kind of list. I don't know. Maybe the last part of his career when he was doing all the injuries, but then again, he has that asterisk. He was injured.
Well, and so was Stone Cold. Stone Cold, before he got hurt, he was doing different stuff, And I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not saying that it just. He has signature moves that he does. So does everybody else.
Yeah, I'd probably put Mick Foley in that on that list. Top 10.
You really want me to go there with Mick Foley right now?
Yes. I would put him top 10 because
I'm mad at Mick Foley.
He was as limited of a skill set as you can think of. He was always the shock factor. How many thumbtacks can I put in my body? How much barbed wire can I wrap around me?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I was talking. I was talking about Cameo. That's why I was.
Oh God, yo, Mick Foley, cheers.
So, hang on a second. I'm gonna need it for this. For the people at home, I'm putting in a chew, a chaw, a dip, whatever you want to call it. If that offends you, you know where the door is.
Chat, it's about to get real, man. I just realized I've been drinking my beer and I didn't even tag it on Untapped.
I still need to get into Untapped. I'm not on there yet.
Dude, you need to. Untapped at home.
Okay, so anybody that knows anything about me knows I'm a huge, huge user of Cameo.
Which I didn't know until recently, to be honest.
I use Cameo for everything. Birthdays, celebrations, anniversaries, podcast intros, you name it. If you're friends with me and it's your birthday and I know it's coming up in the next, 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to get you a Cameo from somebody. That's how I am.
Oh, you know what? Remind me. I need to tell you something after you finish this.
So we all have seen the Hornswoggle Cameo, which I'm still a little confused if I like it or don't like it. I can't make up my mind. Thanks, Hornswoggle. $35 of my money I'll never get back.
It's fine.
I reached out to Mick Foley. I paid the money. I won't say how much. I'm afraid of getting in trouble. And Mick Foley declined the cameo, which for his reasons, I respect it. I do. I get it. It still sucks, but I get it. He can't support alcohol. Obviously, we drink a lot of alcohol on this podcast. And when I say a lot of alcohol, I've had 3 beers in the, 50 minutes we've been doing this podcast. So it's not like I'm sitting here drinking a 12-pack. Get off me. He couldn't support something that has alcohol. Fine. I get it. Don't like it, but I get it. I reached out to 3 other wrestlers who I won't name, and they declined for the same reason. Reached out to a ring announcer. He declined because I need to use the business request. Okay, the ring announcer is a TikTok guy who normally charges $30 regularly. $250 for business, which is a podcast. Dude, you're not that big. I've reached out to Diamond Dallas Page. I've reached out to Jake the Snake Roberts, Billy Gunn, and a few others.
Well, see, I even told you all this, though, too, is we'd probably be stuck in that,
So now I've got $180 of unused money for Cameo, and they won't give me my money back. So that's great. So birthday's coming up. People are getting cameos for their birthday because I can't use it for the podcast, apparently. And it'll take them 65 business days to give me my money back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's my spill on Cameo. Anyways, so I said there were 3 people I wanted to talk about. Edge, his retirement. We've talked about that a little bit. Cody Rhodes. Who was the other one I said I wanted to talk about?
Edge, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Okay. Here's my thing with Seth Rollins. No, we already talked about Seth Rollins. Who else? I said somebody else.
Edge, Cody Rhodes.
Was it John? Is John Cena?
Oh yeah.
I don't understand why they're bringing John Cena. Well, no, we already talked about John Cena too. I don't understand why they're bringing back John Cena. I don't know if it's a contract obligation. I don't know if it's to put somebody else over. I don't really understand the point because, again, there's no room for John Cena. I feel like wrestling has kind of hit this wall right now with WWE. What wall is that, you ask? Well, it's really simple. The bloodline is going to go on for another year, at least, I think.
Oh, God, I hope not.
And I'm done with it. I'm over it, whatever. They're talking about bringing in The Rock. They're talking about bringing in Rikishi. They're talking about bringing in this person and that person. Leave the old guys alone. I know Rock's in great shape. I know that. I don't need to be reminded. John Cena's older. He's paid his dues. He's given this business everything there is to give. I don't understand. Oh, India. That's where John Cena's going to be. India? Yeah.
Don't know why.
John Cena returning to WWE in September will be in India. September 8th. Just popped up on my screen.
Gotcha.
But you know, I love John Cena. I do. And it's funny because I couldn't stand the guy for the longest time. And he finally grew on me. And I'll tell you exactly why. And I'll be honest. It's because my daughter, Samantha was like the biggest John Cena fan ever. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I could never get into him.
She was the biggest John Cena fan ever. Thought he was the cutest thing in the world. Just yada, yada, yada. And then I started looking past the wrestler, you know, the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the things he did for charities and kids. And I was just like, okay, dude, you got me. I mean, you got me in the feels. So it's there. And I'll tell you another wrestler I don't like is Dom. I can't stand Dominic.
Oh, he's just getting started, bro.
I know.
He has a lot of potential.
He does have a lot of potential. He's very athletic. He knows the business. Obviously, look who his dad is. But dude, that haircut! Oh my gosh!
I will say this: when he got started back in 2020, 2021, we're going on like 3 years,
Right?
Okay. When he started, huge baby face. I think whatever push he was getting from the fans was because he was Rey Mysterio's son.
Absolutely.
It was all by his name. But look at what he's doing now.
He's riding the coattails of Rhea Ripley. Is what he's doing now.
No, not really.
Yeah, he is.
He's doing what heels do. Finn Balor did it. Damian Priest did it when he was a heel.
I don't like him. I still don't like him.
You still don't like him?
I still don't like him. I'm watching the Seth Rollins promo right now, and I can't get enough of this promo.
Nice.
It's funny because I get sucked into it because I can't tell how much of this is a promo and how much of this is Seth Rollins being Seth Rollins. You know, I hated Seth Rollins for the longest time, and he grew on me. And then when he became Seth freaking Rollins, I was like, okay, I kind of like you now.
I've always liked him, even when he was in the Shield.
I hated him in the Shield. Couldn't stand him.
I couldn't stand Roman Reigns in the Shield. I don't know why.
I get that.
And then when Seth turned on them, went solo, that shit was magic. All his feuds with Brock Lesnar, and it was phenomenal. You know what I mean?
So I like him now, and I've watched this promo 3 times from start to finish. As we're talking now, it's 4 times. And it's almost like he's talking to the fans like, I'm not going to be around forever. I can't keep going like this. But again, and this is the magic of wrestling, how much of that is Seth Rollins? How much of that is the writing? And how much of that is truth? You know?
Sure.
And that's what makes this promo so great. I am a huge promo guy. I am a huge, what they call it, promo package. You know, when they'll do the whole music with the talking and the different cut scenes and the fight scenes, which also needs to be an episode. I think I told you that too. We need to talk about our favorite promo packages. I can tell you my top 3 almost completely off the top of my head.
I genuinely don't have any favorites.
I have 3.
Really? What are they?
Number 1, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, Part 2. When Shawn Michaels becomes obsessed with the streak and ending the streak, and just, you know, he's super kicking referees. Him and Triple H get into it. And he was like, you know what? He takes the Slammy Award for winning the best match of the year from the previous WrestleMania that they had.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
goes, you know what, Undertaker? I can beat you. I love that promo package. I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. Number 2, very emotional, but it was when Edge retired the first time. They're playing Three Doors Down, and he was like, you know, he goes, if I had to go back and all the traveling, the pain, the surgeries, he goes, if I could go back to do it all over again, I would in a heartbeat. And that just like, that hit me right to my core. Like, oh my gosh, to this day, It's still like, oh. Number 3 was, it was a turning point in my life. Now, if you know anything about me, real quick, peel behind the curtains. I come from a very religious family. I was supposed to be a preacher. Fun fact. But growing up, my family thought I was a rock fan. They thought he was a diehard rock kid. He loves the rock. In all actuality, I enjoyed the rock. I liked the rock, but I was a Stone Cold guy. When they did that Stone Cold promo and rock promo, and they used My Way, Limp Bizkit song, I let my Stone Cold pride just fly, baby. I was all Stone Cold. I was flipping middle fingers and walking around the house and chugging Gatorades. And oh my gosh, one of my favorites. And I'll never forget, like, just the absolute thrill that promo brought me, because they played it for like 2 weeks straight. And I loved it. Loved it.
You know, I don't know if you would actually classify it as a promo package, but there was one that like really stood out that even to this day remains my favorite, one of my favorite moments in, I would call it WWF history.
Okay.
When it was the Brutus the Barber Beefcake barbershop. You had Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Oh, wow.
And that super kick through the window.
Wow. Okay.
That I would consider it a promo. It wasn't in the ring. It was one of those little segments they had, you know, kind of fill in time. But that's the one I'm like, fuck. I fell in love with Shawn Michaels even more after that. Because I was already a Rockers fan, dude. Watching him in WrestleManias and Survivor Series, going against, you know, Heart Foundation, you know, Orient Express, fucking Legions of Doom. You know, it was awesome. I was already a fan of both of theirs.
Right.
But as soon as that kick happened, I was like, fuck, this is phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good promo package. Like if you get the right music, you get the right clips, you get them to say the right things at the right time. Like it really, there are a lot of different promos that really just that get to me. But those three that I named are my absolute top three favorites. The only other one would be the promo package they played the night that Ric Flair retired the first time.
Oh, shit.
It was the one where Ric Flair, you know, at the end of Raw, he comes out, he thanks everybody, and he gets seen by the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Batista, blah, 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 blah. But they played that clip of Shawn Michaels going, "I love you, I'm sorry," and then super kicking him. I was just like, dude,
yeah,
that hit me in the core. Like that shook me to my core right there. Just absolutely insane. And that's the great thing about wrestling is a lot of people don't understand is you follow these guys' careers, you know, and you see this. I mean, even Brock Lesnar, who a lot of people hate, they can't stand him. There's going to come a time where he retires, and there's going to be a lot of people, myself included, that are going to be on the edge of their seats because you look back at the things that he's done, man. It's crazy. When he was a young, 22-year-old Brock Lesnar coming in and just absolutely just tearing the house down, and he was a beast and he was just unstoppable. And then going to UFC, coming back, breaking the streak, which we're going to get into that one of these days. Worst decision wrestling ever made, I think. But
for me, it wasn't a bad decision for them to end it. It was a bad decision for them to end it with who they did it with.
Yeah, but are we going to get into this right now?
Let's save it for next show. Let's table it for next show.
All right. So I don't necessarily disagree with you. My question is, who ends it at that point? Nobody needed it. Nobody needed it right then and there.
What year was that?
Oh,
wasn't
You did the streak and Undertaker. I cannot type to save my life. 2014.
2014. All right.
You had Roman Reigns, who was up and coming. KO wasn't that big. Sami Zayn wasn't big. Sami Zayn was still a jobber. You didn't really have anybody in the business that needed it, though. John Cena was still red hot. There was nobody. Brock Lesnar was really it. And Brock Lesnar didn't want to do it. But I want to steal something from Paul Heyman. I said this last show, and I'm going to say this moving forward. I steal a lot of my material from Paul Heyman and Bubba Ray Dudley. I do not hide that. So I want to put this little piece of information into your mind. What if the original plan was for The Undertaker to win? And Brock Lesnar, halfway through the match, you said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take it. And he did. What if? Yeah. So something to think about. I mean, you're going to tell me, God, I love him, one of my all-time favorites. You're going to tell me The Undertaker is going to stop Brock Lesnar? I don't believe it. Now, 20 years ago, possibly. But in the ring at that time with Undertaker's age, you're going to tell me that Undertaker's going to stop Brock from taking that streak from him? No. So something to think about.
I would go so far as to have maybe someone from the Shield. At that time, they were feuding with him.
They were feuding with who?
They were feuding with the Undertaker. I'm reading up on it right now. It was Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan were feuding with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but Dean was still having problems backstage with creative. Roman Reigns wasn't ready for that type of a push yet, and neither was Seth Rollins, I don't think. I think Seth and Roman were too green, and I think Dean was just... Here's my thing with Dean Ambrose. I love Dean Ambrose in WWE. I do. Love him. AEW Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, whatever you want to call him, nothing but respect for the guy. But he's got too big of a freaking ego. He does. He's got too big of an ego. Sorry. And I know that's a wrestler thing, and I don't fully understand the wrestling mentality. I'm not a wrestler. I went to wrestling school twice. Got screwed out of a bunch of money the first time in Sanger, Texas, and the second time, I don't want to talk about it. But I feel like there was really nobody in 2014 that could have taken the streak. Now, fun fact, Edge was approached and asked if he would break the streak, and Edge said no. Straight up, he goes, no. He goes, it means too much to the business. I don't want to take that. I don't want to do it. And to go back to show you the kind of people that you're working with, Undertaker told Edge that he would, what was it? No, Undertaker told the Dudley Boys that they didn't have to kick out, or they could kick out of the last ride. And Dudley Boys straight up told him, no, we don't want to do that. It's too special. There's no way. We don't want to take that from you. So
I'm reading up just to refresh my memory, because I thought I was on the right path, and I had to read it to confirm that I was. I still say Seth Rollins should have been the one to take it. Because at the time, okay, so I'm reading it. They were feuding with The Undertaker, all three of them. Okay, at WrestleMania 30, they beat Kane and the New Age Outlaws. less than 2 months later, about a month and a half or less, Rollins turned and went heel, joining the Authority. And he got a massive push. Now imagine what kind of push he would have got had he turned heel just a month earlier and took that streak. That would have just catapulted him even fucking more.
Okay, so I'm going to read you.
They were already trying to do it.
I'm going to read you some of the names coming from WWE 2014, okay?
Okay.
Adam Rose.
No.
Alberto Del Rio.
No.
Baron Corbin.
No.
Bad News Barrett.
No.
Batista.
He was already kind of on his way out.
Big E.
And he didn't need a push. Big E,
right?
He needed a push, but not facing another face.
Brock Lesnar.
Skip.
Cesaro.
No.
Daniel Bryant.
No, because he was already on a massive push. He had just won the Royal Rumble.
Damian
and he
Mizdow.
won the title later on that night. Who?
Yep. Damian Mizdow.
What the fuck is that? I don't know who that is.
Damian, oh gosh, what was his name? He used to talk to the masses, the intellectual savior. I can't think of what else to call him. Okay. Dean Ambrose, David Otunga, Curtis Axel, Kurt Hawkins, Chris Jericho, Cesaro, Brodus Clay, Bray Wyatt, Brad Maddox, Bo Dallas, Billy Gunn. That was your roster for WWE.
I would say Christian, Bray Wyatt, or Seth Rollins. Maybe not Dean Ambrose. Top three right there of people who had the potential to end the streak and just be accelerated that much more. Especially if you're looking at Seth Rollins, the fact that he turned on his Shield less than about a month later. Bray Wyatt was already getting into I mean, it did nobody any good having Brock Lesnar do it. But if it was in the name of the company, there were better people to do it for. And in my opinion, it was Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins should have been the guy, because if they're going to already push him to join the Authority a month later and do this huge, massive angle with him and Brock Lesnar, what fucking better way to do it than with a win over the Undertaker? You want to have something where it's like, okay, you have this smaller guy, Seth Rollins, versus the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. How can he compete? He dethroned Undertaker legit. He ended the streak.
Well, and see, that's the thing though, is it's got to be believable. Like if you put Brock Lesnar right now against Finn Balor, is anybody going to believe that Finn Balor is going to beat Brock Lesnar? Seriously. If you match
Seth Rollins has beaten Brock Lesnar minus the strength. He weaseled his way out of a few of them, but I mean, he still won legitimately.
Yeah, but again, it's not. He weaseled his way. It's not like, I'm talking straight up fist fight. Who do you think's winning that fight? It's Brock Lesnar 10 times out of 10.
Brock, yeah.
It's got to be believable. I mean, and that's the thing is, I feel like we're past the day of the big guy, right? I mean, you look at Brock Lesnar, you look at Roman Reigns, you look at The Rock, you look at Stone Cold, Goldberg, Brodus Clay. Who is that other guy? Omos.
I'm not a fan of his. Yeah. Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. I mean, we're kind of wrestling fans are kind of over it. Yeah, they're cool to look at. They got the big muscles. Half these guys can't cut a promo to save their life.
No.
And for me, I want the total package. I want the look. You got to be able to cut a promo. If you can't cut a promo, I'm out. I just that's why I love Sami Zayn so much. Pardon me, but yeah, I don't see anybody that could have really beaten him. I think it was a bad move, but it wasn't up to me. Undertaker.
Seth Rollins could have beaten Undertaker. You want to say it's would it be believable him going against Brock Lesnar? Fine, I can say he weaseled his way through some of those wins. But you look at Undertaker, Seth Rollins could have pulled it off, considering he already started feuding with Triple H. He was already feuding with guys who were slightly bigger than him, and he was winning convincingly.
Yeah, because he had the Shield backing him up.
No, this was after he turned on him. This is after he turned on Authority.
Well, yeah. He did.
He turned on Authority. He went solo, like shortly after that. That's why he had that feud with Randy Orton. Following Hell in a Cell 2014, he started turning.
Okay.
And Hell in a Cell was in October. So this is like 3 months, three and a half months after he turned on the Shield to join Authority. He's now feuding with people within the Authority. So he's feuding with the likes of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. He's feuding with Randy Orton. He's feuding with Triple H and Batista. You tell me it couldn't be believable that Seth Rollins could take out Undertaker in that streak?
Yeah, but did he really need the push, though? That's the question.
I think he needed that push, considering they were already going that direction in the first place. Why else would they disband the Shield? And why else would they have Seth Rollins, of all people, be the one to do those chair shots on Roman Reigns to disband the group? He was getting that massive push.
Yeah.
Now, they already had the plans there for him.
Here might be the other thing, and I'm going to get attacked for this. I can already see it coming, but I'm going to say it anyways. I don't blame Seth Rollins for what happened to Sting. Not for 1 minute. I've seen the documentary. Sting has even come out and said it could have happened to literally anybody.
Yeah.
There are 2 moves in WWE I think they need to do away with. And unfortunately, Seth Rollins does both of them. The curb stomp and the turnbuckle powerbomb. I think they need to do away with them. They're just too dangerous. And that's not me. This is not a bit. This is not something that I'm trying to get attacked on. I really feel like those 2 moves are just too dangerous.
The curb stomp, the curb stomp can be kind of avoided if safe. I would say replace the curb stomp, put in Finn Balor's where he jumps off the top rope and literally lands on your fucking chest with both heels.
Yeah, or
that should be kind of looked at. But you don't hear anybody getting injured from that move either.
Right. And the turnbuckle powerbomb, man, just I literally cringe when I see that.
And it goes back to Sting and his injury. You know, I mean, Seth Rollins looked up to Sting. He always did, and then he gets to face Sting. He gets to have one of his dream matches with one of his heroes, and he gets to face Sting, and then he power bombs him into a turnbuckle, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I mean, we've gotten way off on a rant here, but I hated that the streak ended. I really do. I think it was too precious for them to end it. But at the end of the day, not my call. So what am I going to do, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's why we keep tuning in.
So, there's a lot of things that we could jump into, and I'm going to say this right now because I've been thinking about it for the past 30 minutes. This is probably the worst performance of a podcast that I could have done, just with the chaos with the dogs earlier.
Oh, whatever.
Me not being able to just think straight because my mind has literally been all over the place. But
I would say this is more fluid than the last one.
Maybe. But I want to touch on one thing, and the only reason I want to touch on is because it literally just popped up on my TV. I respect the hell out of the women's division. They're all amazing athletes. I will never, ever say that I don't respect a wrestler in their craft, but the writing on the women's wrestling has got to change. I have zero interest in Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. None. I have none. Zero. I think the writing is horrible. And I'm a huge Trish Stratus fan. She was one of my big crushes as a kid. Really loved her. It's just like, why is she here? What is she doing? They brought in Lita for a little bit. Now Lita's gone. They're bringing in Becky Lynch. And, you know, up until I said it earlier in the show, Raquel Rodriguez, and until she showed up against Rhea Ripley, I just feel like they're missing something. They're missing some intensity. They're missing that physicality.
If they want intensity and physicality, I think make a heel versus heel match and put Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't know if she's even on because I don't do my homework. I don't watch a lot of Friday Night SmackDown. I just can't get into the brand right now. I'm a fan of Bayley, and I think we need more Bayley in my life. That's all I'm going to say.
Hell yeah.
I'm a fan of Bayley. I wish she would grow her hair back out, but that's just me. But I want to tease something for next show, and you're going to have to remind me about this. Okay.
Yeah, my phone ready.
LA Knight. I'm not going to get into it tonight. We're not going to get into this tangent tonight. I swear.
That's all I got to work with, just LA Knight.
I need more. Miz said it best last Friday night. He's the flavor of the week, the flavor of the month. LA Knight is this generation's Long Island Iced Tea Zack Ryder. I was a huge Zack Ryder fan. Oh my gosh, I couldn't get enough of Zack Ryder. I thought he was awesome. I thought he was way underrated, way underused, way underutilized. LA Knight is on fire right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock had a love child, and LA Knight was born. And other than him just coming out, LA Knight, let me talk to you. I want to hear his story. I want to know more about it. You realize that LA Knight is 40 years old? 40.
Shit.
So DDP said it best. A wrestler's peak is between the ages of 36 to 42. So with that knowledge, with that information, LA Knight only has 2 years left in him to be at his peak. Not saying that he can only wrestle for 2 more years. Don't twist my words. At his peak,
42. So they need to crank the volume up, milk this cow for all it's worth, and give that man a push that he deserves. I love Miz. I respect Miz. I don't like his character. Can't stand Miz the character, but the man behind the mask, as they say, Miz is amazing.
Yeah.
And you say what you want about the Miz. He's been around for a long time. He hardly ever has injuries, knock on wood. But they need to do something with LA Knight, and I want to hear LA Knight's story. And we're going to touch on that next week because I really am on the LA Knight train. I'm on the Chad Gable train. I'm on the LA Knight train. I want to hear more. I want to see more. I want them to do more with those two guys. That's all I'm going to say.
That works for me.
So you were drinking, remind me again, you had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beer, the IPA.
Hell yeah.
How'd you like it, man?
I liked it. It wasn't, even though it was a double dry hop, double dry hop. It was still citrusy. It was pretty good. I liked it.
What's your rating on it?
1 through 5, you said?
Yep.
I got sneezing. Good.
Nacho.
Grazie. I would probably give it a 4.5.
4.5? Okay.
4.5.
I can't believe I'm going to do
I
this.
mean, you could really taste the pineapple in it too. It was really, really good.
Bless you.
Fucking shit. Thank you.
So I drink 2 beers, both Sucker Punch, one watermelon, the weisse, and then the other one was the Tiger Blood weisse, both from Three Nations out of Carrollton. If you don't know who they are, go check them out. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I have to. I'm going to give them both a 5. They're
Really?
both a 5. Yes. I have one.
You're fucking with me, right?
No. Our first 3 beers that we've had on here are 5s. So,
okay.
I'm going to kind of call you out here live on the podcast. We have to get together this weekend. Because I have some beers for you. I have 2 of the Sucker Punches, one of each, the Tiger Blood and the other one, the watermelon. And then I have the Stone Cold beers. So here's what I'm thinking for next week. Tune in, folks. LA Knight, Stone Cold IPA, Stone Cold Lager. And I also have the Sucker Punches. Now, you don't have to drink all 4 of those on the show, but that's what we have. That's what I have for you. So I'll need your ratings on those for sure.
Well, I've already had the Stone Colds and I've already had the Sucker Punches.
Both of them?
Yeah. I'm your resident drunkaholic, fool. Yeah. I've had it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But I see somebody getting into the chocolate Bluebell Dutch ice cream over there. It's calling my name.
Ooh.
I am a, when it comes to ice cream, nothing beats Bluebell Dutch chocolate. So, you got anything else for the show, man?
No, I'm solid, man. I'm probably gonna hop off and either play a little bit more Destiny or call it a night. I gotta wake up 5:30 in the morning, go to the gym.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm off tomorrow too. So it's gonna be nonstop Destiny. The new season dropped today. I'm pretty excited, man. I'm gonna pretend like I'm in Vegas and maybe start drinking around like 9 in the morning.
Oh, you lucky dog. Well, I'm so we'll talk more off show, but I'm currently looking for a different intro, and since Cameo refuses to give me my $188 back, I got to use it on their platform. I got to find somebody to do an intro for us now.
I say we keep it, but that's just me.
But we got to find
an intro and an exit for the show. I tried downloading some music from YouTube, didn't work out, yada yada yada. But man, I've got nothing else. Great beers tonight. Like I said, not my best performance on the show, but hey, we'll get better. My mind's all over the place. I'm kind of clouded, but that's not an excuse. It was really fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah, me too, man.
So we'll be back next week, same time, same place, and
Same attitude.
right, same attitude. I'm gonna,
If I get my mouse to work.
I'm gonna do some research on some music and stuff, but YouTube wouldn't let me download any of the music that I found, so I'm kind of bummed about that. And I guess that's it. So thanks for watching and listening. I'm Whiskey.
I'm Bruce.
And cheers.